Good afternoon, everybody. Remember, we'll do, after coach's statement, we'll do microphones for questions. Good to go.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Let me begin with just a few general comments and some thoughts to piggyback on my comments after the game on Saturday. Our fans have every right to have high expectation of our program, and I can assure you that no one has higher expectation than I do. We have a proud history and tradition of football at FSU, and it is on our shoulders to carry on the torch, and our fans, students, alumni, former players deserve a team that plays better than what we have so far this season. Our program has some tremendous young men who are determined to get it fixed and who are committed to turning this around, and a group of coaches who are looking at everything, including ourselves. I watched the game of Syracuse about 5 times since Saturday, looking at everything, and our offense must do better at all positions. Our defense has played well, though not perfectly. Our special team must be an asset to this team. We spent the last 48 hours as a team identifying areas to improve in, self-evaluating what we do, how we do it, working hard in practice and with renewed purpose. I am confident that we will get it done. But all the words and coaching cliche and assistance that we must do better won't help us play better. That comes in form of coaching. It's why we coach. It is on me and our assistants to get this right, and we will. I believe in this team, and I believe this team will get it done. Now, on to Northern Illinois. Questions? Yes, sir.
Willie, based on those comments, are there things that maybe you feel like the coaching staff didn't identify or maybe miscalculated some things in terms of either personnel or what you guys were capable of this time early in the year?
Well, no, I just think we can all be better in what we're doing. I think as coaching, we got to evaluate every day how we're coaching and what message we're taking to our guys and making sure we challenge our guys to question us if they don't know what to do, And I think as a coach and as a teacher, you got to find ways to get to your players so they can do exactly what you ask them to do. So I think as coaches, we got to be smart, make sure we're not over-coaching and making sure our guys are comprehending what we need them to do and understanding why we're doing certain things.
Coach, how you doing today?
All right.
Can you just walk us through the mindset of that locker room after losing to Syracuse this past weekend?
There was frustration. Everybody was upset, obviously. Everybody was embarrassed by the way we played, and they were hurt, and I mean, that was it. There was some hurt players in there, hurt coaches, hurt everybody, and disappointed and frustrated at ourselves.
Coach, for the blocking, both protection, run blocking, outside of players executing better and improving, are there some things you can do scheme-wise to maybe buy them a little bit more time, things like moving the quarterback or leaving a tight end more? Are you looking at things like that?
Absolutely. We can move the pocket. We can get DeAndre out of the pocket more. We can go to different pass protection to try to help out. We did within the game. We did some 7-man protection, which is max protection for you, and times it worked and times it didn't work. So goes back to fundamentally and straining through blocks and understanding what they're about to do, and so you can execute the play a lot better. But there's a lot of different things that we can do and will do to help our guys.
Coach, speaking of the O-line, Sutton Smith is probably one of the better pass rushers in the country. What's your thoughts on him, and how do you think you guys can slow him down as well?
He's a heck of a football player. He's a young man that plays with fanatical effort, which I think helps him be a great defensive end. He goes all out every single play, and it's going to be a challenge for him. We got to know where he's at every single play, and make sure we get guys on him because he is a heck of a football player.
Coach, in the past during the Fisher era, they were able to occasionally move an offensive lineman to defensive tackle. Is there anyone very deep in the defensive ends who could be moved to offensive tackle, or is that something you put thought to?
Not necessarily right now. That's going to come in and help us win a ball game. We moved Arthur Wilson over, and he's playing for us now. You think a kid who's played D-line for 4 years here, and he just moved over in training camp, and now he's playing for us. So, and he's doing the best job he can do right now, and only getting better as he gets more reps in there. So, I don't see anybody else on the defense side of the ball that can actually just come over and help us right now get done what we need to get done. We got to go with the guys we have, and we got to do a great job of developing them a lot quicker than we wanted to, and make sure we put them in the best position for them to be successful.
Go to Kevin in the back.
Coach, you talk about reassessing how you practice. Is there anything in specific you want to try to do differently at practice going forward?
Well, we just want to make sure that we're not necessarily running just any and every play, making sure we're going to run the plays that we're going to run in games, and our guys understand everything they can get to that play from a defense standpoint, so they can execute it a lot better on Saturdays. You know, our guys we got to have more consistent play and be better when it comes to fundamentals and technique, and you can be better when you understand what's going on and what you're going to get from the defense.
Go to Kurt on the front row.
You mentioned the initial frustration in the locker room. I don't know how much you've been around the other coaches, players since. What's kind of the response been, and what do you expect the response to be this week?
Well, I tell you, we had practice yesterday, and I felt after Saturday game it was going to be one of those sourpuss practices, so guys come around and pouting and all, and it was totally opposite. Our guys had total focus, a lot of energy, and it started in the meetings. And again, what said a lot to me. Our guys, they definitely want to get this corrected, and they're willing to do whatever it takes to get it corrected. But for them to come out with that mindset was a plus for me, and something I wanted our guys to be able to do. And we had a really good practice yesterday.
Coach, you mentioned how you want special teams to be an asset. Against Virginia Tech, you had a blocked punt. Syracuse almost blocked 3 or 4. Is it something with the formation, or is it just players missing assignments?
Well, again, the one against Virginia Tech, it was just, I guess you can call it missed assignment. Player didn't block the guy. He was right in front of him, and he didn't block it. It was nothing special they did. We just didn't block on that one. And then in the Syracuse game where he got close there, we didn't strain through our block. And we got to strain through our blocks, and it's something we got to do, not just on special teams, but offense and defense, strain a little more. And then we got to be better with our op time. Our op time's got to be a lot better, and that always helps when you can get the ball off quick.
It sounds like you were maybe trying to get more feedback from the players about what they're experiencing or what questions they have, and if that's the case, what kind of feedback did you get? Was there any information that was helpful?
Ask that question again. I'm sorry.
It sounded like you were saying that when you said the whole team needs to figure this out, it sounded like maybe did you ask the players for feedback on kind of what their questions are, or what or their thoughts?
What I was saying is our players, when it comes to plays and things that we're running, is not sitting in meetings and just sit there and just coach tell you something and you shake your head. But if you don't know, we want you to be able to tell us as coaches, hey, coach, I'm not sure what you said. I'm not understanding that. Do not leave the meeting room not understanding what you're doing, so that you go in the football field and you execute the way that we want to. And I think sometimes that happens where guys don't want to raise their hand and say, Coach, I'm not sure, and we got to make sure that. And sometimes as coaches, we just got to ask them rather than relying on them. Ask them what they know and how we're blocking certain things so they can tell us. And then a lot of times during that time, you find out what they know and what they don't know when we ask them and get them more involved in it.
Coach, you guys haven't been putting much points on the board since the start of the season. Can you just tell us what the offense needs to work on moving forward?
Again, I think we all can be better as coaches and players, starting with us. We got to make sure we're putting our guys in the best position for them to be successful. And then as players, they got to execute the way they know they're capable of. I mean, when you watch the film, and the reason I'm not discouraged is because you see that we're so just one guy here or a half second here, and we get some things off. So when you watch it, it just goes back to we got to be better in putting our guys in position and then demanding that they do it the way that we want to. We got to become a more disciplined football team in every aspect, whether it's discipline in your techniques and fundamentals, or discipline in not getting selfish penalties that hurts the football team. We just got to be disciplined overall before anything can take off and be what we need to be offensively. And then probably the most important thing, we got to be able to run the football, something we haven't been able to do. And that's never been the case, and that's something we have to do. And if we can run the football, and this offense becomes a lot better.
Coach, again on the line blocking, I assume, are you getting a little bit more consistency in practice than you're seeing in games? And if that's the case, why is it not translating onto the field?
Well, I think a lot of time our guys are just panicking. Our guys know what to do, and they panic, and I think that happens when you get beat once or twice, and then you start to panic rather than trusting your technique and trusting your rules and your assignment, and then you try to do too much. And I think that's what's happening. Our guys are trying too much rather than just block your assignment, block your rules, and what your rules. And your rules will take care of everything for you, and that comes with confidence in what you're doing. And I think what we're seeing of is a lot of guys playing. Some guys playing wasn't expected to play, and just come with rep until they get comfortable and confident in what they're doing. That's when it's going to be perfect for us. But as coaches, we got to make sure we understand that those guys are new and haven't had a lot of experience, most of them, and making sure we put them in the best position so they don't get bent out of shape while they're out there, and they can be confident and comfortable in their assignments and their rules.
And real quick, I know Derek Kelly looked like he had to be helped off at the end of the game. What's his status, Coach?
He'll be out this week. He won't play this week.
Coach, after the game Saturday, you mentioned the idea of maybe slowing down the offense. After reviewing the game, do you think that's something that could help, and what could that do for you if you decide to go that way?
Well, I think slowing it down, what it probably do, what it probably do is eliminate some of the pre-snap penalties that's happening, especially with some younger receivers that we have out there. I think, if anything, it probably helped that, you know. But that's who we are as an offense, and we like to go with tempo. So we're not going to get away from it. We just got to be smarter and find different ways in practice to make sure our guys are lining up the right way and being able to do it fast and communicating with the referees. And so the referees can tell them when they're on and off the ball, and then trusting the referees. I mean, the one play we had, our player told the ref he was off the ball, and he was off, and then our player just scooted up. For a reason, we can't do that. You got to stay focused and locked in on what you're doing.
Corey, back left.
Willie, when it comes to the running game, how much do you need a quarterback to run the ball? When it comes to this offense, how much does that help the running game when you have a quarterback that keeps it and gets positive yards?
I think in any offense, if you got a quarterback that can run and get you some first down with his feet, it always helps. And I think in the run game, you got a quarterback that can run. Now you make the defense have to defend 11 guys in the run game instead of 10, so it helps you tremendously from that standpoint. I don't think you necessarily need the quarterback to be able to run the football, but it does help tremendously when he does run the football for you. And but again, we have some tremendous backs, and we got to get the ball to them. And I think when you look at us, we as an offense right now, we don't have an identity, and we got to establish an identity. And what we're going to be and who we're going to be. And that's on me as the coach to help us do that.
For this offense, though, 2018 Florida State, do you think your quarterback needs to be more of a weapon in the running game?
I think when we ask him to. I think he's getting better at doing those things when we ask him to do it. In that game on Saturday, we didn't ask him to do it as much. And then as we got behind, we had to throw the ball a little more. And then, I mean, the times what he did, he made some good reads. He scored on one, and the other one, our guard blocked the wrong backer. We blocked the right backer. He's running down for however many yards. So I think he's getting better at our quarterback runs that we ask him to do, and it's going to help us as we continue to roll.
Chris.
with Derek Kelly out, and I presume Landon Dickerson still out, is there a potential that a freshman offensive lineman could play, or is that just not on the table at this point?
Well, I think everything's on the table right now, and make sure we find answers and making sure we find the right 5 guys in there to get us going. And again, with a group that we don't have much depth at all from the beginning, again, anything's possible right now. So, like I say, some guys gonna have to develop a lot quicker than we thought they would, and it's where we're at, and we got to find the right guys to get it done.
I guess you kind of answered the question right there, but you're building something for the long term. Is it worth at any point to maybe go away from things that don't align with your principles to get some short-term results, or just put some Band-Aids just to survive this early part of the season?
Well, I think you gotta evaluate everything you're doing and making sure you're making changes that's right for where you're going as a program and what you're doing, and not just making rash decisions because things just aren't going your way. We got to do a great job of evaluating everything and why they aren't going the way that we need them to, and then correct the why and why those things aren't happening for us. But we got to be smart and more importantly, play to our guys' strength and not their weaknesses. So, and that's on us as coaches to find what our guys do best and ask them to do that. And as we get going and get momentum and our guys get comfortable with what we're doing, then we'll start seeing more improvement from our guys.
Well, I had 2 questions. First, DeAndre, health-wise, how is he? He got hit a lot on Saturday.
Good. He's good. He's tough. He's good.
Did you realize? I mean, he took last time he played in 2016. He got hit a lot too.
Yeah.
How tough a kid is he?
Very tough. Very tough. I mean, I'd rather run him and get hit than have him sit back there and get hit. Right. At least he'll know it's coming. But he's a tough kid. I mean, he sits there in the pocket and he try to wait till some guys come open to get the ball out. And not many guys can do that. Not many guys have the heart to sit in there and do it. You know, sometimes I'd rather him run than sit there. And there's time where he's got to hitch up in the pocket too and not sit back at the top of his drop and be a sitting duck. You know, so there's things from a quarterback technique, things he can be a little better at too, and hitching up to avoid some of those hits that he's getting. You know, but I like to see him, if he don't have it, take off and run a little more than what he's doing.
In a couple times on Saturday, you had delay of games coming out of a kickoff or a change of possession. Mm-hmm. Is that a communication thing with you in the box or you and the players? What's going on there?
That's a more communication thing, and more. I know the one you're talking about is there's more the player just had a brain fart, you know, out there. I mean, he knew it. We all said it, and he knew it. He came back. That's my bad, coach. You know, and trying to get him on the right side, and he was on the wrong side, and delay a game. We could have took a timeout, but we felt we needed it. So, but that's all part of our guys being locked into what we're doing, and that's what we got to be a hell of a lot better at is understanding and being disciplined and what we need to do. You know, we can't have those penalties, those pre-snap penalties that kill you before we even get started. You know, so we need to be a heck of a lot better on that.
Go back, Kevin in the back.
Coach, sometimes when things aren't going your way, social media can be a toxic place. Personally, how do you handle that? And do you as coaches maybe coach some of the players on how to handle that?
I handle it by not being on there. You know, that's pretty simple to me, and you understand when you don't play well, people are going to say negative things. You know, that's part of it, and if we don't want them to say negative things, then we got to play better, you know. And so with our players, the same way, we tell them the same thing. That's part of it. That's the world we live in now. Everybody has an opinion, you know, and you can't let everybody's opinion affect what you're doing, but they're going to have negative or positive depending on how you play. You know, if we play bad, they're going to say bad things, and you can't get upset. We should be upset with ourselves. You know, if we want them to say good things about us, then we go play well, and they will. So, and our guys understand that, and they understand we got to take care of our business if that's what we want. You know, so we can't get frustrated at anyone for getting mad at us. You know, to me, they're upset because they know we can play better than what we're doing, and we're not playing the way we're supposed to. So they have every right to be upset, and we got to change that. And we can't ask them to change the way they think or anything. We can earn their support and earn their respect by the way we play.
All right, anything else, Coach?
I noticed towards the end of the game, I think on their last touchdown run, you were talking to Dontavius after the play. Kind of like it looked like about technique things. Is it important that even as things are going poorly to focus on the details and not?
Absolutely. You can't ever get away from it because that little detail I was telling him could have avoided that guy scoring on that play, and it was just more not running around the block. As soon as he ran around the block, the running back replaced where he was. He's got to take on that block and force him back where his teammates. So I always think there, no matter, as long as the clock on the board, every opportunity you get to teach and help your guys, you got to do it no matter what the situation is. And hopefully he take that and run with him. It might be a situation this week where he do it right and it help us in the game.
Coach, back to the injuries on the O-line. How is Dickerson's rehab going, and how is Minshew's health?
Minshew's health is good, and Dickerson is coming along well with his rehab. I'm still not sure when he'll exactly be back, but he's coming along really well.
All right, anything else?
Once again, I believe in this football team, and I believe they're going to get it right. We all going to get it right. Hang in there with us. Go Noles.